It's time for a Talking Habs subscriber and membership drive. Come on in and chat with us about our favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens, and the National Hockey League. Let's talk Habs. Let's talk hockey. Videos, live streams, panel discussions, hockey poetry, Habs songs, and more at Talking Habs for your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. So it is Wednesday, and it's the membership drive. So welcome in everybody who is here. Well, two people are here. Let's see who's here. See, Habination much earlier. Well, not that much earlier. A lot earlier, 8:45 a.m. because the show only started at 8 o'clock, so you couldn't be at 8:45 p.m. Rick, get your senses there. Where did all the knickknacks go? The knickknacks, if you meant the thing that was beside me on the blue shelf, that is still over there. It's out of camera range. So, yeah. But it's still here, and it wasn't full of knickknacks. There was other things inside there. Hey, NHL Hockey News, how's it going? Zachary Candido. Boy, it's been a while. How you doing, Zach? I guess still mourning the first round loss. No, just had to rub that in. Zachary's a Leafs fan, but he's a good one. Where did all the hype for Norlinder go? I guess a lot of other, there's so many other things. I mean, it's not just Norlinder now. I mean, that's when you get to be have a lot of better prospects and stuff like that. I mean, the conversation is not just around one guy. Jafar. It's not too much. How about you, my friend? Jafar. Every time I hear your name, I think of the Disney. Jafar was Aladdin, wasn't it? Aladdin. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Don't know. All right. So there's not really a ton to talk about. So whatever you guys want to talk about, we shall do that. Funny story is that I've got a video here to do. I was actually getting ready to do it, and been preparing it all day, and there's been construction around here all day, too noisy to do anything. Finally getting around to do it, and I realized, oh my God, I got a show in like an hour, so I couldn't do the video. But I almost did a video instead of the show. That would have been funny. Dr. Bag. Oh, I used to know some people like named that. How's it going, buddy? BL, being safe in this heat? Yes, I am. Staying mostly in. Bob Cannon. Boof. Bob Cannon's in the room. That was a better one. How's it going, Bob? Bye-bye. Well, here we go. Okay. Danny Tabernac, it's Danny. Hey, Tabernac, it's Danny. SC. How's it going, man? Or the first to call for Slafkovsky on your chat. Wait a second. What do you mean by that? I'm not sure what you mean by that. To talk bad about Slafkovsky? That'll happen. His first game, probably. Calgary, talk away. Calgary, what? I'm glad I'm not a Calgary fan. That's all I can say. Did they trade Tkachuk yet? I didn't see anything. Good to hear there, Bob. Good to hear. Dr. Bag, do you think Hoffman is on the move next? Yeah, I've kind of said that. I mean, that's kind of my pick. That guy that should be on the move. But I think it's a good bet. That I think Hoffman, I think there's teams that would want to take him. So, yeah, somebody's got to go. Stand the man. Hey, stand the man. Danny, I'm doing good. No worries. Good to hear that you are as well. What does NN stand for, Jafar? Not sure. Oh, Jafar, well, good call on your part, because, I mean, I was definitely, they weren't picking Slafkovsky, and they did, so I was wrong, but good call on your part. So, yeah, I mean, definitely I had that one wrong. So anybody, if I said anything to anybody that was like, if I said it in a nasty way, they're not taking Slafkovsky, I apologize, because you were right, not me. Tkachuk has given Calgary a list of teams that he would sign long-term with. Yeah, did he have a no trade thing or what? Anyway, yeah, it's a shit show over there. I don't know what happened. I mean, how it got out of hand so quickly, I don't get it. But yeah, good to hear, Danny. Good to hear. Can send me a few of those bucks. I don't mind. I don't know. So what else is going on in the I found nothing to really be of news. I guess we could say if you hadn't heard, they signed Monty to a 2-year deal, 1 million a season. What else has happened? Not really much since then. So I was reading somewhere. I think actually, this is something to talk about. Stefan Waite. So if you read this article, I don't know where the article is. I only know that I was reading some stuff about it on Twitter. Stefan Waite has said that he believes Carey Price will be ready for training camp and be ready to start the season. There's a couple of places picking up on that as if he's going to do that, but it's not. It's a lot of his feelings. He doesn't have any concrete proof of any of this. So if you see that out there, don't get all excited. Carey Price is coming back. Don't do that. That's the only thing out there I saw. Awesome. You stopped smoking cigarettes, I'm assuming? No, this is not a cigarette, but awesome. I stopped smoking cigarettes in it's got to be about 2.5 years now. I haven't had a cigarette. I've had some tobacco because I mixed, but I mean, not a cigarette. So, not an easy thing to do to stop. All right. So, what else we got going on? What was I talking about? I don't remember now. The Carey Price thing. So, I don't know how much I'm going to put into that. That even though it's Stefan Waite, I don't know how he knows this for a fact when Ken Hughes doesn't even know that. So, so don't buy into that exactly. Not that I don't want Carey Price to be ready, but I don't see it happening yet. Hey, old man, how's it going, man? Old poet, man. Thank you. If you, I have. There's a new poem out there. If you wanna, I have it loaded up. I have a sped up version that I put out for members. I might play it after. I don't know. But there's a new poem. It's very short, so the video is like 3 minutes. And please check it out. It's basically it's about, I guess, the current after the trade, about stuff like that's going on right now. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Blues, Vegas, Florida, Rangers, Devils, Dallas, and Nashville. Those are literally 7 teams in the NHL. I don't know why you wrote that. Oh, that's the list. Now I know why. Montreal's not on that list, so that's one thing. So all the talk there on Twitter about Montreal's, Montreal's not getting it. Where do you think he's going to end up? In all honesty, if Price arrives at camp and discovers his body isn't ready yet, is there any likelihood that he might just retire? I think there is. Actually, there's something on that. Matt, check this out. If Carey Price does choose to retire, there's no cap recapture for that. That's only for contracts that were signed prior to 2012, I think. So if Carey Price retires, there's no problem for Montreal money-wise or anything like that. So, yeah, I think there's a definite possibility of it. Will he do that? I don't know if it's likely, but I have to say there's a possibility. Old man says he sits on the toilet with old poetry books, not a cell phone. I don't take my cell phone in there. I read in the bathroom. That's what I do. I read a lot. I read every day that way. Phil says, or old man, Phil, however you want to refer to him, Price will not retire and give up. No, I'm not saying that he is. But I think he will if he knows his knee's done. I think he will. I really do. I think he will. But I don't think it's imminent yet. I think he's going to try for as long as he feels that he still has hope to get back to normal. All right. Oh wait, I jumped the gun on one. Stand the man. If the Habs put a player, say Armia, on waivers and he clears, gets sent to Laval, do the Habs take salary off the books? No, they get $1.1 million. I think $1,075,000 in relief. That's all. Yeah. So no, the salary doesn't come off the books. 1.1 million does come off the cap. Listen, if you're in a desperate situation, I mean, maybe they'll do that. I don't know. I don't think so. Kind of think that you can get something for Armia, so you can try to move him for something. But maybe that's where they go if they can't move him. I don't know. All right, new things to look at. What new things? You got to name some if you're going to say that. BL says, yeah, that's right. No Canadian teams on Tkachuk's list. I guess he doesn't want to play here in Canada. He wants not to pay Canadian taxes at all. And if I'm correct, some of those teams have good tax states. Am I right? St. Louis would be your best bet where he goes. Yeah, could make sense. Whoever can afford him, he's not going to be cheap. Would you do a Hoffman for Beauvillier deal and trade Drouin away for picks? I'd like to get Beauvillier. I feel he has untapped potential. Okay, but I mean, would I? From what I understand, the money's similar. I think the only reason they trade Hoffman is to get some cap relief. I don't think anybody's willing to take Drouin right now until he plays. Jeez. As far as talent wise and I guess I would do it. I just don't know. I don't know that Islanders would do it. I think there's a team out there for Hoffman that we can, move him to get the cap relief. He's only making $4.5 million. It's not big. Phil. Filibuster says this savings is calculated as league minimum plus 375. So I think maybe now it's $1,125,000 because league minimum is 750 now. So yeah, that's what it is, and that's the most you're going to get when you waive a guy and put him down in minors. Again, Filibuster says, I say keep Drouin, Savard, keep the older Quebec vets. They want to make they won't make much of a difference, and they can handle media and explain French to non-poutine eaters. Yeah, someone made a point. I was reading that it seems like Quebec players, English or French, are starting to maybe consider Montreal. A lot to do with Marty St. Louis and the coaching here, and the belief that Montreal will soon have a winner. And I said this many times. Once Montreal can, start producing winner, players will want to come back here. I didn't say that about Quebec players though, but apparently it seems like they're getting Quebec players interested in coming back here. I try to see under the crack of your closet door. Is that weird? Which closet door? How can you see under the crack of any closet door? First of all, where Koivu is, that's the bathroom, and Lafleur, that's the closet. So, how do you expect to see under there? So, good luck is all I can say. And if you can do it, let me know what kind of technology you got. Drouin only goes at deadline, if at all, at 50% retained. I think I don't know about the retained if you have to retain 50%. Probably some money, but I think, yeah, you're right. At the deadline. Calgary was prepared to make Tkachuk the second highest player in the NHL. I remember a quote from Tkachuk. Was it last playoffs? I want to say not the ones that just happened, maybe the ones that just happened, but him saying that, yeah, he didn't feel there was much more to do here, like Gaudreau said, and that he was, you got the feeling he was going to leave. And I guess one more year of that, and he left. He wants to leave. 8 years at 11, that's crazy money. And he turned it down, so he doesn't want to stay in Calgary at all. Montreal's a great city to live in. It's less and less right now, but and I don't disagree with you, even though I said that. To grow up in, yes, I grew up here, and to be naughty in, that's for sure. It's a literal paradise if you are bilingual. Yeah, I mean, I only disagree with you on the fact that it's getting a little less nice, but as far as with, you know, the things that are going on in the world, forest fires, this kind of stuff like that, we don't have these problems. All we have are language problems here in Quebec. Other than that, it's a great place. Now, I guess that's why I threw in the bilingual. I don't think anybody's worth 8 times 11, but that's okay. That's, you know, I just don't think. I think even 8-year contracts might be too long. Something that I did agree with Jeff about. 5 years. That's all you should. Yeah, 5 years is enough. Would have been funny if it was Weber for Patch instead of Dadonov from Vegas, since they traded Patch ready for nothing. But again, that $7 million contract that Patch holds wouldn't work here. We don't have the cap. And do we really want Pacioretty back? I don't really want him back, to be honest with you. No. So that's how I feel. Verdun has a beach. Son of a beach. There are no language problems if you can learn both languages, even basically, and have thicker skin than draft paper. I don't know that I fully agree with that statement as an English Quebecer. You could say I've had enough time to be bilingual. I'm semi-bilingual. I'm not fluently. And I kind of say no. I'll say this. I disagree with you saying even if you learn it basically. No, I think you need to learn. You got to be bilingual. If you really want to enjoy Quebec properly, you got to be bilingual. That's it. And you do need, if you're English, you do need to have thick skin. The rest of it I agree with, but I mean, as a totally like an English person in Quebec, I don't know that I agree with all that. Anyway, I don't know that we're here to talk about that. You would have taken what? Wait a second. Yeah, I would have taken who's Mapak? I'm no. Is that Max Pacioretty you're talking about? And PK too. Yeah, I know you would take PK back. There's actually a question out there because I don't think PK is going to be on the waiver wire, but I think Montreal's definitely looking for another experienced veteran right side defenseman at a low cost. PK probably fits that bill. I don't know that he comes back here though. Renault. Could trading away Romanov and Paling come back to hurt the Habs playoff shot if Price is playing 40-plus games or 20-plus wins? Only if you like to be controversial and talk about that, because why would we be thinking that? Like, why? Why would you want, I don't get it. I'm looking forward. I'm not looking back and saying, well, look, we didn't make the playoffs. Would we have if we had Romanov and Paling? Why? Filibuster's a Spanish immigrant. English and French was child's play. Well, okay, but the languages I can see English being hard. French, the only difficulty about French for Spanish people is the pronunciation of the word, because Spanish, you pronounce all the letters, and in French, you got a lot of silent letters. That's my experience seeing Spanish people trying to learn French. English is a little more complicated that way. But hey, maybe you're just a person that gets languages a lot easier than other people. I'm not great with languages, so. And here we are talking languages. Romanov for the 13th was nice, but that 13th I would have kept Dak. I'm not convinced. Well, I mean, okay. I mean, I understand that you might not be convinced about Dak. I think Dak will be a good pickup. I think it'll work out. There's some risk there, obviously. So, yeah. Dr. Bag, I'm excited for Lane Hudson. I'm excited too. I think we're probably got to wait a couple seasons at the earliest and to see him. But I think that guy's got like talent off the boards. Danny says PK going to the Leafs. I'm okay with that. Filibuster says Lane Hudson does not seem like a super duper steal. Wow, what a gem. Does seem, excuse me. Yeah, as long as he can. Well, if he grows a couple inches, I mean, like that's going to be great. Otherwise, it could be. I don't know if he'll make it 100% or not, but the guy's got talent. Like it's just pouring out of him. So, Bob says, Rick, what was the rationale for trading for Matheson? His stats aren't overwhelming, and seems to be somewhat injury prone in the last couple of years. What is his role here? It's a good question. I'm actually the video that I have in front of me here. I'm kind of going to be talking a little bit about that. Here's a guy that he's 28. He's just entering his prime for a defenseman. He just had his best season overall in his career. He was a client of he was a client of Kent Hughes. Kent Hughes knows him really well. I think a lot of what he got him for was he's a top four defenseman. He's fast, can play the fast-paced game. Will score similar to Petrie. I mean, similar, maybe not as much, but you know. And I think leadership, I think character-wise, which was something that Hughes said a lot about, character was really important. That's something I think he's got a lot of. He's from Montreal, understands the market here and what the market is. He really excited to be here. He was a Habs fan growing up. There's a lot in there. That's kind of what I see, is what's going on, why they got him. I think Matheson, like Jeff Petrie, when he came here, he was about 2 years. So he was 26, I think, when he got here. So 2 years away from entering his prime. He grew into the role. He became a great defenseman here, putting up the kind of numbers and all that here. I think Matheson's on the verge of doing that. And I think we're going to like this guy. So, yeah. I was reading something. He has games where he makes some boneheaded plays. And that's what Petrie did the same thing. Some great games and some boneheaded games. I mean, he's very much like a Petrie and can probably grow into being that. I think that's why he's here. Okay, I scrolled and I got to find where I was. Renault, Romanov and Matheson on the left side of top four could have secured a playoff berth for the CH. I mean, yeah, but you don't know that for a fact. I'm not upset about losing Romanov because I like the return. Is there? I mean, there's a chance. I don't know. I think we'll be fine. Hey, Kenny B, how you doing? Dak was supposed to be the next Getzlaf. I'm hoping St. Louis can turn his game back around to that trend. Don't forget, there were a couple of injuries there for Dak, so I think that has a lot to do with why he's not farther along. I just think this kid has a good chance and a good likelihood of having good success here. So. Phil, yeah, and because I took a French course years ago, there were a lot of Spanish people in there, and they told me that was their only difficulty with French. And English is a little different than that. Matheson scores. Look at those numbers. Very good D. Young, prime years, locked in for decent cap hit, is local. I mean, yeah, exactly. That's basically what I said too. Except the scoring part. Yeah, I mean, 11 goals. He puts up numbers like, not yet. He hasn't hit like 40 or anything like that. But I mean, his career high past season was 31. I think you're going to build on that a little bit, and you're going to get similar numbers to Petrie and a similar game to Petrie. So I think that's a lot. And Hughes knows him well. I think being from Montreal I like that he's English, fluently bilingual, but he sees it a different way than a French player sees it. So I like that aspect of it. And the kid really wants to be here. He grew up a Habs fan. I think this is a good pickup. If you had to trade Petrie, I think this was a good pickup. Lane Hudson and Mikai or Jackai, however you want to pronounce it, would work really well. But again, both you're looking at 2-3 years away. Jackai might make it. Like, I wouldn't think next year. Maybe wait, see him a little bit. But yeah, though, you're talking a couple of years yet. But there's some really good prospects here. Matheson is yes, he will play big minutes. I was trying to think of how the lineup might look. And another thing, he's a left shot, so he's naturally a left side defenseman, but he plays both sides, which is probably pretty big. And apparently, Hughes, that was it was what am I trying to say? It was part of the reason why they wanted Matheson as well, is that he plays both sides, right? So yeah, I kind of think we're probably going to see like Edmondson and Matheson, because Petrie and Edmondson was a great pairing. So I think we're going to see Edmondson and Matheson as the first pair, because I can't see Savard being a first pair defenseman on the right side, because other than Matheson, you got Savard, Wideman, Barron. Neither of those guys really is a first pairing defenseman. Barron may grow into that, but he's not yet. So I think we'll see Edmondson and Matheson play together. And then I think the guy to play with Savard on the left side, we don't know yet who that is. I think that's the guy they're going to pick up in free agency, or not free agency, on the waiver wire or something like that. Or if they get lucky, they can find somebody who could actually be a right side number one guy or first pairing guy, and Matheson can shift over to the left. So we'll see what happens, but I don't think. I don't think. I think there's another defenseman to come in, is what I'm trying to say. And he said that. I mean, he said that if they haven't filled all the slots, he believes they'll be able to get somebody off the waiver wire at the during training camp. Hey, Roger, how's it going, Roger? Roger the Dodger. Also, Hughes wrote Matheson's contract and structured it with big bonuses the last few seasons so he could play in Canada but avoid taxes. This is one of those cases where Hughes, being pretty shrewd negotiator as an agent and everything, is going to bite him in the ass, because now one of those contracts he's got to handle. Ray, stop barking. Lucas, Matheson will be fine. We won't miss Petrie. As a matter of fact, Matheson's from your part of the woods there. He's Point Claire. Born and raised in Point Claire. Good West Island boy. We got to remember, too, Gordon traded for Zibanejad, who hadn't reached his peak yet. Now he's a star in New York. Same can go with Dak. It's a similar type of move. That's why I'm not as worried as some people, I guess, because I think that's right, that this probably has some of Gordon's fingers on that move there, High caliber American players not wanting to play for a Canadian team is common. Gaudreau, now Kachuk, Matthews, and Besser would be next. I guess Kachuk, they're American. I guess they were born in the States when their dad was playing there. I guess I thought Kachuk was Canadian. So am I wrong? I guess I am. Hey, Ronald, where would Montreal finish in the standings in the 2022-23 season? I'm going to say bottom 10 in the league. I've said it before, between 5 and 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 is my opinion. We'll see if maybe they'll play above themselves and finish higher, but I think still in the bottom 10. Yeah, I mean, that's very true. It seems like because of the salary cap and so many teams up against it, you got to give away those big contracts pretty much. So that's why we might not have got everything we were hoping for in the Petrie contract and took back probably more salary than they would have liked to. But I think overall, considering everything, it was a pretty good trade. And as far as Paling being involved, let's face it, right? There wasn't. I don't think there was a big future here for Paling in the end. He didn't prove out to be, what they were hoping for. Having Rem Pitlick here kind of made him movable, and that's what they did. And I think it's fine. Okay, so Renault says if Price starts the season, the locker room will fight for Carey's wins and surprise us with a playoff entrance. Yeah. Surprise would be the word for me. If they make the playoffs, I'm going to be surprised. That's for sure. Even if they make a run for a wild card spot at all, I'm going to be surprised. And I'm not talking about beginning of the season. Like, I could see this team coming out maybe the first, few weeks really doing well and then having, starting to come back to earth. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see how they make the playoffs this year. I don't. I do think if everything goes right for them, then yeah, I guess then they could maybe make the playoffs. But I don't really think that'll happen, though. Renegade Man, very good. Yeah, that's how I am. I'm over. It happened. I wasn't happy, and now I'm over it. And that's how it is. It's just that Dak is unproven and plays such a different spot than Romy, who was blossoming. But it doesn't mean that Dak can't blossom. Why couldn't Dak blossom? And I mean, he's unproven till he's proven, which could happen this year. I mean, I think the talent is there. It's a bit of a risk. I'm not saying it's not, but I don't think it's as big a risk as some people think, I guess. We'll see. Will PK sign with Habs this season? No. When he does, I don't think so. How much will the contract be and for how long? Oof. Okay, I'll put it this way. If I'm Hughes and I say, okay, well, let's sign Subban, and I do sign Subban, yeah, it would not be longer than 3 years. And if it was my preference, it would be 2 seasons at no more than $2 million. That's how I see it. And I like PK. It's not because I don't like him. Bill, you're not over KK instead of Kachuk? Well, I don't know. I'm over it. And what are you going to do? So Phil, you say 3 times 2. Well, we're not that far off. I said no more than 3. Yeah, no more than 2. Unless you're saying 3 million times 2. 3 million is too much. Do I think the Jets are going to trade PLD even if it's not with the Habs before the season starts? Imagine if he comes to training camp with the Jets and dealing with the fans and media. Okay, but what team? You'd have to sign him to a contract. It's got to be a sign and trade, because what team's going to give up assets for him when they're sure he's going to leave in 2 years? Like, what are you going to give up for him? So I don't know. I think it's another reason why maybe it's not a good idea to think about getting PLD. Look at the position he's putting his team in. Why would we believe he's not going to do that to Montreal? Like, why would you believe that? He did it to Columbus. He did it now. He's doing it now to Winnipeg. He's going to do it to Montreal too. So no, the more this happens with Winnipeg, the more I don't want PLD anywhere near my team. Not that it's my team, but you know what I mean. I think it will be Matheson, Barron, Edmondson, Harris, Gooley, Savard, 7th, Weidman. I think it could be that way. I'm not saying it couldn't, but for Barron to be your number one pairing after 5 games with Montreal in the NHL, yeah, I don't see that. Could Barron work his way up there? That's a different story, and I think he starts on the 3rd pairing at best. Hey, Daryl, how's it going? Just say if Habs get Dubois, and say we cannot get we can get not bad Carey Price. You think they could in the next few years make the playoffs? I don't think all those things have to happen for them to be able to maybe make the playoffs in the next year. I think they'll make the playoffs in the next 3 seasons. I don't think Carey Price has to be here to do that. And I don't think they have to get Dubois to do that. Danny says he doesn't think PK, he wrote okay, but that's okay spelling, is going back to Montreal. I don't think so either. One thing for sure, PK is going to have to take one massive pay cut. Big time pay cut. Doesn't matter where he ends up, he's going to be taking a big pay cut. He's made plenty of money in his career, so if he didn't want to take a pay cut, should have played better. I think that's how it works, no? I think I don't know if they got married, but his girlfriend there, the skier, I think that was not great for him for his hockey career. I think it distracted him away from hockey. So I know they split last season. It didn't seem like that he got over that or he was any better, but maybe he has a little bit of he resurrects his career a little bit over the next few seasons. That's the reward part of signing PK Subban, but there's risk there, depending on what you expect from him. So if you're signing PK Subban to take the number 1 spot on the right side, there's risk there. On a rebuilding team like Montreal, not much risk, so I'll give you that. Montreal does not expect to go anywhere next year. So I know we'd like to, as fans, would like to see them. Montreal, they don't figure they're making the playoffs, and they don't care. It's not part of the plan right now. Sure, it could happen. Great, I guess, but it's not going to happen. And it wouldn't be great because it'd screw up their picks. Filibuster says, I hate to say that I am okay losing Andy if PLD comes back. I'm not okay with that. No, and because Andy's not a cancer in your room. I'm not sold that PLD's not, that PLD isn't. I think he is. I don't think this is great for a locker room. I know a lot of people want to make excuses for him and say Winnipeg's locker room was a cancer or was bad and Columbus's was bad because of torts. I don't know. Is that his excuses for the guy? I don't know. If we want to say about Jonathan Drouin that over the last few seasons he's not there, and it's starting to show a pattern. Well, this is a pattern in PLD right now. I don't like it. Any news on Price? No. Do I think Price is done? I don't have any idea. I don't know. It could go either way. That's the best I think. I don't think you can tell. I don't think anybody can tell that are like us guys. I don't think they've released anything that would give anybody any reason to be able to say he's done, he's not done. Prices remain high across the board. What prices are we talking about, man? Where do you get that from? Are we making fun of somebody? Hey, Gabriel. PLD for Gallagher plus extra stuff. Is it possible? Well, that's a vague offer. Give us PLD for Gallagher and extra stuff. What could be Oreos? Extra, like, what are you talking about? Extra stuff. That extra stuff is like big time important. Okay, Kenny, you can make fun back to Phil there because ask him what Ewers are. I don't know what Ewers are. Wonder how much the Habs will pay Dak. He still needs a contract. I'm going to try to answer that in my video, but I don't mind. I think I've said this already. I kind of think they got to sign him to. Okay, let me go back for a sec. Basically, Romanov for Dak in the trade, right? I thought Romanov would have to have signed a bridge deal between 3 and 4, closer to 3 million. I think Dak's got to sign that same deal. I think he's got to sign a 2 or 3 year deal, 3.5 to 4.5 max. I would say 3.5, something around there. So that's what I think. I got to scroll. The Petrie deal allowed them to sign Pitlick. It did, and it was a good deal. Danny says Montreal going to make the playoffs in 2093. So I don't know if that's a typo, or you're saying 2023, or you really mean 2093. No, they'll make the playoffs before that. Come on. Will we have a planet in 2093? That's a better question. PLD and for Devo and more. It has to start there. Got to replace their center. Well, I know when these rumors were really out there, Devo was part of the package going back that I read anyway. It's not Suzuki. It's not Caulfield. That's ridiculous. Then people saying trading Kirby Doc. I don't see that makes any sense either. Kenny, I can't say I agree with you that saying hoping Price will be ready. If he is, Habs will make playoffs. No. Carey Price is not enough to make this team make the playoffs. Nope. He may be good enough to get them close to the wild card. I mean, maybe close. I don't think making it. Nope. I don't see, unless he has such a huge resurgence. Whatever he had in the playoffs, with this injury and all that, that's gone. Like, I don't see how you expect Carey Price to come back after this length of time and then be that guy that was in the playoffs 2 seasons ago. I don't expect that. Sorry, but I just don't. Well, Dr. Bag, we agree on that. I don't really want PLD. And the more I hear about everything, the less I do. Renault says PLD for Galley, choice of any prospect, and a protected top 10 2023 first round pick. I don't know. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying something else with that pick. I mean, if I'm Winnipeg, I don't know if that's enough. If I'm Montreal, why are you giving up anything to get a guy you can sign in 2 years? Right? If Pierre-Luc Dubois wants to play for Montreal that badly, in 2 years, when he's eligible to be a UFA, he'll sign in Montreal. And will he sign another contract longer than 2 years? Not if he wants to play for Montreal. And if he doesn't do that, then so what? You didn't get him, so what? Where was I? That's where it was. Filibuster wants PLD and Huberdeau. And hey, listen, how about $1 billion? Would you take that as well? Because I'll throw that in, no problem. Listen, I don't think Huberdeau is going anywhere yet. At least not till his contract's over. And I think there's a few more years left on that deal. So I'm not sure when he's a UFA, but I don't think you're going to get him. Gallagher's going to be really tough to move with that contract, and Montreal will not be retaining salary. So Gallagher's going to be hard to move right now. Byron, you don't have to move Byron. He's on the he's probably going to be on the LTIR to start the season. And then when he comes off, it'll be around, how much longer till trading deadline, and you move him then. Bayby says Paling may break out elsewhere, so good luck to him. Too many centers in the system with more upside than him. I don't even know if they were thinking of him as a center going forward, more of a winger, power forward type left winger. And I think that Rem Pitlick gives you more offensive upside and more flexibility. So I think that's why they went and signed Pitlick and traded Paling. Gabriel says, I don't think we will be totally garbage next season, but I think they will surprise us a bit. I don't think they're going to finish in the bottom of the league. I'll say this, though, depending on injuries. We had so much injury garbage last season. If that happens again, all bets are off on them finishing better. But yeah, I don't think they'll be as bad in the end as they were last year. Gonna have a better coach all year, so that's gonna help. Huberdeau would become a Tavares move like Toronto did. Not worth it. He'll cost too much. I would tend to agree with you there. I think Huberdeau's a better player than Tavares. Okay, but I think, it's the same kind of thing. Got to pay too much. Could Slafkovsky go to juniors or AHL if he gets sent down? No need to rush him. I've seen this posed before. He was playing with men in Finland in a good league, and he did okay. Why are you putting him back to junior? AHL. Well, I don't know this talk. There's this talk about him going to junior all of a sudden. I don't know where that comes from. It's a distinct possibility Slafkovsky will play in the AHL. It's going to be one of the two, Montreal or Laval. That's where he's playing next year. One of those two. And maybe both. If he starts in Laval, he may be in Montreal later in the year and he'll play in both. But that's his options. Is there any news on PLD? Jeez, no. That's my answer. If they came to me, Winnipeg's on the phone, you're the GM. Do you think you'd be interested in Pierre-Luc Dubois? Nope, bye. That's what I'd say. Phil, I would not start Slafkovsky in the AHL unless he has a bad camp. If he has a decent to good camp, he starts with Montreal, maximum 9 games, and judge from there. And if it's not like, if he hasn't sold you like, oh, he's got to stay, he goes to Laval. That way, his first year VLC slides to next year. He's got that. He's what's the word for this? He's one of the guys that is a slide candidate. I don't know what they call it. So yeah. But no, the AHL he can play all year. Why 9 games? You try him 9 games here. Slafkovsky, Dak, and Anderson. I need to see that line in action for fun. I think you might actually do that. It's probably depends on how he starts in training camp. I mean, Slafkovsky probably is not going to start on the first line like right away. You got to think it's probably not how it's going to go. So you might see that line. Hey, Randy N. 100% I agree with you there, right? And he's done it twice now. This is twice. Why wouldn't he do it again? So, no, I don't want a player like that. Paling was picked ahead of Jason Robertson and could still score 50-plus a season. Paling's going to get 50 goals a season? Renaud, are you like on a serious, really crazy drugs, or you didn't mean what Dad says? Because whatever drugs you're on to make you say Paling could score 50 goals a season, I want some of those. I want to try that. See what would make you say that. I think you're talking about Robertson could still score 50. Jason, that's the guy in Dallas. Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a shot, I guess. I don't know enough about the guy. I had him in my fantasy pool last year. He puts up some numbers, that kid. So, yeah. But Paling, right? Really? So, I don't think you meant Paling. Pretty sure PLD played his last game with the Jets. Good for PLD. He's an RFA, so he doesn't really dictate that. And if I'm the Jets, and you know what? And I don't want to move him, and he sulks, and I pin his ass to the press box, and you don't want to play for us? Sit. All year, I don't give a shit. Somebody's got to teach that kid a lesson if this is what he's doing. But I wouldn't take it too well if I was the GM over there. Mean Girl Hockey. Hey, Mean Girl Hockey, how you doing? Mean Girl Hockey. I dated a few mean girls anyway. Really don't want PLD here. Does not seem like a team player. Exactly. He's not. If he was a team player, he'd give his all for the team he's at. When he gets to be a UFA, he can go where the hell he wants. And you don't have to make all this kind of shit. Randy says the signing of Montembeau will guarantee us a top 10 draft pick next year. Well, it depends. I mean, how many games he plays. But, that's how they tank in net. That's how you're going to tank this year. If you see they trade Jake Allen, you got to figure they're trying to tank a bit. Kelly. How's it going, Kelly? I think the Habs will be bottom depending on the goaltending. Well, I'm a top, so Habs could be on the bottom. That's fine. Not on the very bottom. I think somewhere between 5 and 10. I think somewhere in there. Getting married to the right person makes everything better, even beer. Okay, but how did we get to that? Did you write that because, you want your wife to read that? So, you get lucky later, or like what's going on? PK might only get minimum wage or just a PTO camp invite. He's fallen far if that's all he gets. I think Habs will finish bottom of their division. Probably not last in the league again. That's more likely, yes, than last in the league. But, bottom right is like 7th or 8th in the division. I can see that. Hey, Danny, have a great night. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it, man. Danny Tabernac drinks Labatt for sure. I like Labatt if I'm drinking beer. I don't like Molson beer. Okay, I vowed not to speak French till Bill 96 is gone. I'm gonna read what Phil says in a weird way. Averdun yen en plus de ça que je vois. Don't you love my accent? Corona's okay. We already have one crybaby in Drouin. I don't know that Drouin's a crybaby. I don't know that I'd say that exactly. I don't want PLD to PLD. He needs to grow up. PLD did the same thing in junior like he did in the NHL, and he's just a point per game player. I agree with that. Do I agree that the best course for Slafkovsky's development is 2-3 seasons before he makes the NHL as a full-timer? I absolutely do not. No. If he's ready next season, why shouldn't he play? If he's not ready, then he'll go down. Why would you just say that straight off the bat? Not off the bat, he should no. If that's what he needs, then yeah, that's the best thing. But I don't think that's going to be what he needs. Have a good one, Danny. PLD does. Didn't I say bye? No, wait. Who was I saying bye to before? Did I say bye to you already? Awesome. PLD does not have Galley's heart. Nope. PLD has youth. Galley is a retired Super Bowl. What? I want to say Super Bowl, but a Super Bowl stud. Him training development. I don't know what you're saying there. PLD ragdolled Matthews last season and embarrassed him in front of everyone. That should count for something. So did Josh Anderson. So in the playoffs. No, Ben Sherratt. Dak is only worth less than Rem Pitlick. No, that's an insane take, I think. Would you trade Dvorak to Jet? You really Renault's back to his controversial ways. Would you trade Dvorak to Jets for the Duba? I guess Dubois? No. I mean, yes. No. At this point, even if you got like a really cheap price for him, I don't think I want Dubois no matter what. I just looked over to see how many people are in the room, and I don't believe there's that many people in the room. There's 52 people here? Wow. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I don't think I want Dubois. Say we trade for Dubois. In 2 years, when he's an RFA, he's going to want to go somewhere else. So I wouldn't do that. No. And even if he signs an 8 or 7 year deal, I don't believe that he'll want to stay here for 7 years. Old man Rick attracts the best hockey people? Where are they? I don't see any. Just bugging out. I don't know if that's true. Where did I go? There I am. What's Kirby worth a year? Kirby Dak. Well, I was just saying. I think a little more than 2. Although, you know what? Considering the cap restraint, I wouldn't be surprised if it's $2.5 million that they sign him for on a short-term bridge deal. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. You might be right, Bishop, that as low as that. Do I think we'll re-sign Tyler Pitlick or he's gone? I do not at this point. But you never know, but I do not, really. It's 9 o'clock, people. Suzuki put up 61 points in his third year playing on a team that was in last place. PLD had 60 points playing with Ehlers and Connor on a team that is in the bottom 14. Suzuki is younger than PLD. Yeah, I agree. That's why, don't like the trade. The pieces I see people wanting to send over to Winnipeg for PLD is mind-boggling. If Petrie was the trade they needed for Pitlick, what would be the trade to come, in your opinion, to be able to sign Doc and maybe a right defense? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that Petrie was the trade they needed to sign Pitlick. I think when it was all said and done and the trade was done, they had the money, less money left over than they thought, but they had the money to sign Pitlick, and they did. It also gave them enough money to sign Montembeault. So right now they don't have a lot left on the cap, like 200 and something thousand. That's it. What are you asking me? Hang on a second. What would they have to move somebody like? I think any of the guys that are the free agents with a term and money, they got to move one of those guys. Hoffman, Byron. If they can move Byron, that's $3.5 million. That'll allow them, I think, to sign Doc. They got to move one of these guys. Who it'll be, I really don't know. My guess is it'll be Hoffman, but it's just a guess. Who will be starter, Jake or Monty? Jake, obviously. Do you see Justin Barron making the opening night roster? I don't know 100% sure, but yes. I mean, why not? I like what I saw of him. If he has a good camp, yeah, why not? Unless they brought in somebody else. That's a possibility. I try my best to not put much faith in rumors. And that's what all this PLD stuff is. Maybe that's just me. No, that's why you haven't really seen me do much about this PLD stuff as far as video, because it's just rumors. I don't believe Montreal are going to make a trade to get PLD. I don't believe it. And I don't believe that any of that talk out there saying that Montreal was negotiating with Winnipeg. They may have been, but they didn't approach Winnipeg. Winnipeg approached them. Hughes has said he'll listen to all offers. He'll listen to everything. So is that the same as them negotiating and wanting to trade? No, it's not. It's just them picking up the phone saying hi. Kirby Dack said, Filibuster says Kirby Dack 3 times 1.8. I think 1.8 is a little low. And if it was going to be 1.8, I don't know that he'd sign 3. It'd probably be 2. I mean, if I'm him, I don't know that I'd want to. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could be right as much as I'm right. Could be right with 3 million, but considering he's just coming off his ELC, I mean, if it's 1.8, it's not going to be long. Feel bad for Jets fans. They traded Laine, who could have been a cornerstone of their franchise, for a guy that will leave for Montreal in 2 years. That may leave for Montreal in 2 years. It will leave for somewhere, but it might not be Montreal. I imagine Montreal finished bottom 5. Imagine Montreal. Yeah, I think 5 to 10. Huberdeau better than Tavares? I think so. I would like to believe that, but no, JT is a star. Yeah, that's fine. JT's not a star for me. If you look at the money he's making, he should be a star. If you look at his numbers, I don't see how his numbers over the last few years say that he's a star. It seems like wherever he is, he can't win. Left a pretty bad Islanders team, and guess what? They weren't as bad an Islanders team as we thought. We had over 700 man games lost last year. Yeah, if that happens again, we're going to be on the bottom. Really, you think 2 years in a row? It's odd that we would have that bad a streak for injuries 2 years in a row. So I'm going to assume we're not going to have that. Not go to junior, has played pro over there. Well, I've heard that. I actually hadn't heard that, and that makes a lot of sense. But I saw some talk about people asking about that before I got that question. So, I mean, it makes no sense. Why would he go back to? It's like going back to high school after completing college. Who would do that? Montreal will juggle. Will send all available youth to AHL for cap paper purposes. I think this is a weird loophole. Habs versus what? Habs used it a lot last few years. You mean up and down? They'll generate some cap space on off days of shifting guys who have no waiver problems to go up and down. Yeah, they didn't really use it that much when they really, really needed it. I thought they didn't use it enough. So I don't know that they're going to use that this year. It depends on who they move. If they can move guys out, they won't have to. Hey, Kenny B, thanks for being here, buddy. As always, eh? Have a good night. Which defensive prospects do you feel has the most upside for the Habs going forward? Goalie? Yeah, goalie, I think. No, I mean, I like Barron and Harris too, but I think Goalie has the most defensive prospects. I think he has the most upside. Yeah, you know what, Phil, you're probably right. Lane Hudson, but I guess because he's new, I wasn't thinking of. He said the most upside. He didn't say offensive upside. If he said offensive upside, yeah, it would be Hudson probably. I think the most total upside, no, I'm going to still stick with Goalie. 50 points for Ryan Poehling. I don't even think Ryan Poehling scores 50 points. No, not in a year for his career. Nope. Not for a while anyway. If he ever does it, it's not going to be next year. I had someone told me that KK will put up 100 points. Oh, I might have done that like way back when he first came out. I was still a bit too much of a fan, giving kind of fan. And I don't mean it as an insult for you guys. I hope you realize that, but I was too much of that. I think I judge it a little bit harsher now and stuff like that. So, but I think at some point I might have said I think he could get 80 to 100 points. Like 2 years ago, I might have said that 3 years ago, but yeah. It's like when you look back at an old picture, you got some stupid haircut, and you go, well, why would I have had that as a haircut or wear those clothes? That's kind of like how I feel about that comment, What a stupid comment. Hang on a sec, guys. Okay, I can't see the Renault's comment because I'm covering it. Not going to work. Robertson is the new face of the league. He's a more well-rounded forward than Austin Matthews. Jason Robertson is the new face of the league? And on what planet are you talking about? Like what solar system? He's a young guy, but I don't know if he's the new face of the league. Come on. Believe me, I wish Austin Matthews, I don't want to see his face ever. So that's fine. Like if he could be like faceless face of the league, maybe I'd be okay with it. But no. Yeah, I don't think Robertson's the face of the league. Up and coming talent, yeah, 100%. How would I have handled the 11-2 game fiasco if you were, say, the coach, the GM, the owner? I would have pulled him. I mean, I doubt I would have gotten into that pissing match there between Mario Tremblay and him. That was a dominance thing there. Tremblay wanted to prove I'm the boss, and that's what he did. I would not have left him in for the 11 goals, and this would not have happened. So that's my answer. I would imagine by 5th goal, I watched that game. I remember that game really well. Probably would have pulled him by the 5th goal. It's Patrick Roy. He didn't have it that night. Obviously, get him out of there. So yeah, that's how I would have done it as a coach. As a GM, if it happened, the coach did that, I would have not suspended him. I would have had a conversation with him. I would have reasoned with him, and I would have not suspended him. I think suspending him and then all that, they couldn't walk back from that. So I would like to have made cooler heads prevail, I think. Now, if I was that, I don't know that I'd have this many years to look back and think what I could do. I mean, but looking back at it, that's what I would do. And as the owner, I would have tried to make this not happen. So there were a lot of mistakes made. Yeah, I mean, I would have done it differently. I think Reja Hull just he ever shit the bed on that one. Do you have AC in my room right now? No, I have AC in my bedroom. I do not have it in the studio. Besides, that's all you'd hear. So I would have to have it off anyway. So what's the use in my studio? Monty will be a great goalie. What? Better than? Who's that you named there? I don't know. Montembeault will be a great goalie. Said nobody ever. Great goalie? Good goalie, maybe. Great goalie? No, I don't think so. But maybe. I mean, I don't know that I'm the best judge. Pat Brisson let it kind of slip about Dubois and Montreal. No, what he let slip was that Dubois would like to play for Montreal. That's it. He didn't say anything else. Couldn't say anything else. So Rory, I'd say gold this season is bottom 5, and hope to hell we get lucky in the lottery. You know, no, I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think that's their goal. I really don't think that's the team. It's our goal as fans, yes. I don't think it's the team's goal. I really don't think that. I think their goal is to be better than they expect, but they don't expect to be much better than what you're saying. But yeah, it's kind of a different thing. I think it's different. Habs need to treat Slafkovsky like Detroit treats their prospects and let marinate longer. But why not take a look and see what you got? Maybe you don't have to do that. Why would you just automatically say, let's put him in Laval? When you don't have to do that. You can give him some, take a look at him. Like, why? It's a rebuilding team. If he's not up to 100% what he's going to be, so what? As long as he's not hurting himself or hurting his development by being in Montreal, I don't think I would automatically put him in Laval. Well, besides, he's a number 1 draft pick. Remember that. A number 1 draft pick, most of the time they will play in their first in their D1 year, D+1 season. Will the Habs give a contract away in order to gain salary cap space? Unknown. I don't think so, but unknown. PLD is a walking trash can. Hasn't even been a point per game in his career, and he pulls his this. In my opinion, Jets should make him sit and Habs wait till free agency. Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think the Habs are going to wait till free agency. And even then, I would say, no, sorry. We want people who are loyal. not just people who taste good. We want chicken that tastes good. How does that go? That old Starkist? Anyways, I don't know. My brain's just flying off in different directions. Yeah, and you're all going, brain? What brain? We were listening. We didn't figure you had a brain, so. Dak has worse production than Rem Pitlick last year. Why would he receive more pay? Let's see. He was a number 3 overall draft pick. He's had some injury problems. I don't think that you could say that Rem Pitlick has a higher ceiling or more potential than Kirby Dak. I don't think you can say that. And that would be why. Because of what you're saying, Pitlick signed for 1.1. If you think Dak's coming in under $1 million, I think, like, once again, Renault, please send me some of those drugs that you're taking. Please do that. I really want some. Dak has not accomplished anything in hockey yet. I'm not throwing like tons of money at him. Habby Nation, you're back with pizza. I don't see any pizza here. I want some. Why not? Dak won't get over $2 million. He gets a 1 year, 1.5. 1 year, 1.5. Show me what you can do deal. They traded Romanov for him. You guys realize that, right? They traded Romanov to get the 13th pick, then traded that 13th pick, right, and a draft pick with Romanov, and then traded that 13th pick and another draft pick to get Kirby Dak to say, here's a few bucks. Show me what you can do. You really think that's motivating a guy like that? Like, really? That's your best thing to do to a guy you put a lot of stock in now? You're going to treat him like shit. Like, really? What's wrong with this world? Sorry, guys. I don't mean to scream at you, but, like, I don't get why you would think that. They put a lot to trade to get him. Why would they treat him like that? I don't know if it'll be the best division, but it'll be an improved division for sure. Stan, for sure. Babe, I agree with that. If their big thing was characters really important to this team, why are they going after Pierre-Luc Dubois? Joel Kravitz. Hey, Joel. Hey, Joel. It's been a while. It's my apologies on that. Life's crazy these days. I'll be very honest with you. I hope you've been well. If Price can go, Allen stays. If Price goes on to LTIR, Montalbo is in. What if Price and Allen both go down? Stefan Waite believes Price will be ready. Yeah, he believes that. I don't know if that means anything personally. Well, we had that. This is a problem, right? I mean, that's where Primo comes in. They don't have much other option than that. So, I mean, I don't have an answer other than Primo. Is there another answer? There isn't right now. They hopefully be able to go find another goalie like they did with getting Hammond. Yeah. There's not much answer to that. Let's see now. Where was I? Oh, there we are. PLD, lesser version of Jack Eichel. You're both about the same as far as they're not doing anything. Okay, Ray, no barking, please. I didn't hear nothing, Ray. Have a good night. Renegade, if you're on your way out, I don't know. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. Dr. Bag, the Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slafkovsky line will be the face of the league. Yeah. And don't expect that from first game. I would be surprised, actually. Slafkovsky probably start on the second line. Maybe third line even. Hey, Francis, I say we challenge Chicago and Arizona next year. To what? A hockey game? Bottom of the league? God, I hope not. Chicago, man, they just demolished their team. Yeah, I don't. I think between 5 and 10. So between I don't know. I'm not turning it around. I don't know where that comes to. But they'll finish bottom 10. Between bottom 10 and bottom 5. Monty's young and could end up as the starter. Well, if Allen gets hurt, he will end up as the starter. Hey, Sean, how you doing? If PLD wants to come to the Habs, wait 2 years. That's it, exactly. And if he does, then he will take a pay cut. Also, the Jets are a cancer in the room, and the other team was 2. Well, the Jets can't be a cancer in the room, but maybe PLD was the cancer in the room. Hey, Guru, how you doing, buddy? Good news. I will be sending out the package real soon. So I'm ready to send out your package. So I got the prize, and so that the prize, I'm not telling you what, it's going to be a surprise when you get it, and the hat. So it should be coming out real soon. So I'm glad I saw you. You don't get paid for potential. You get paid off past stats. Yeah. A lot of today they're paying for potential, though. But it's wrong. Number 3 pick means nothing in contract negotiations. Well, that's not true. How's that true? So what you're saying is number 3 pick and the number 30 pick by the same team go in for negotiations and they're treated exactly the same. That's what you're saying. That's not true. Dak should be motivated to play well, and then he earns his salary. Yeah, but so what are you going to do? Give him nothing? Come on. He was the number 3 pick. He's going to get a couple of million at least. He's been through his ELC. I mean, yeah, he's going to get a couple of million. Bergevin paid people for potential. Hughes can't deal with contracts like that. And he is also a former agent, so he's not going to overpay no chance. I didn't say he's going to overpay. Maybe what I said originally was too high, but I think $1.5 million is too low. He's going to pay what he thinks he should pay, I guess. But Roy, I didn't say give him a large contract. I don't consider that a large contract. What I said, I don't know. I said a bridge deal. I didn't say a large contract. Hughes must know he can turn Doc around, or he would not have done it. Well, I would think he feels that. Yeah. I might even say that maybe this is one of the cases where Gordon had a heavy hand in this, and he saw the potential in Doc like he saw with Zibanejad, and he's trying to make that happen again. They don't play a lot of hardball with players today. They coddle the players today. Millennials need to be coddled. So you play hardball with them, it doesn't work. And there's no reason to play hardball with Doc right now. I don't believe there is. Renault, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't get where you get that opinion. Okay, so this year, we'll just go with this year. Slafkovsky drafted first overall. I don't know who was drafted 32nd. ELCs are done. They both go to the contract negotiations for their first contract. They both performed to the level expected to their position that they were drafted, first and 32nd. What you're saying is the guy that drafted 32nd should get just as much money as the guy that was drafted first. That's what you're saying. And you show me where that's an example. There's an example of that's what happened. You show me where and in what league that happens. I don't even think you feel like that. I think you just like to have controversy. Where am I? I don't even know where I am. $1 year, $2 million. Someone said that, and I think it's a good number. As if prove me you're worth more than that. Well, I would say that you just wasted the trade. You threw Romanov to the garbage. Because that kind of an attitude with a guy you're just bringing in and all that could just totally ruin your relationship with the guy and maybe even ruin his confidence. So, yeah, make a trade like that and then do everything you can to stomp on that guy's head. And then say, go out and play, and we expect you to be good. How? I wouldn't respond like that. So, geez. No, by my reasoning, Galchenyuk would not be around. He's played like shit. At some point, how you play does have something to do with it. We're talking about first contracts. You know this is Doc's first contract after his ELC. You know that, right? That's what we're talking about here. Everyone on the team knows there's no pressure to win. Just go play hockey. That's for Montreal. Yeah, there's no pressure to win. Dak didn't reach his expectations. Maybe it had something to do with the injuries. Maybe just a little bit to do with the injuries. Just a bit. Galchenyuk father interfered in his career too much. That's for absolute sure. Romanov surpassed expectations in Montreal. They traded Romanov to get Dak, bringing in Dak, and you're going to say, yeah, treat him like shit. How does it make sense to you even? Dak should get $4 to $4 million for 3 years. Yeah, well, I said, I don't know. 4 might be on the high side, but anywhere between 2.5 to 4, I think he'll come in at. So there you go. Bay has a good one. I guess DeBrincat didn't meet expectations in Chicago then. And that what was that comment that Doc didn't reach his expectations, so they moved on him. And neither did listen he only scored 44 goals 1 year. So who has? We were expecting 104. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about this anymore, guys. Houston show. Nope. Read that. Gally liked the party lifestyle a little too much. We're talking about Galchenyuk. That too, yeah. David Desharnais got $5 million for second line time. Second line center usually gets paid like that. And if Doc's going to be a second line center and we want to bring him in here and say, here's a little, we'll give you a little walking around money. Prove to us what you got in you. Oh, that's not very motivational to me. Not saying they got to give him the world or anything. Definitely not saying that, but not treating him like that. Apparently, Montreal had a going away get together with Romy and a lot of players, and Molson were there. Classy. I mean, that's the Montreal. They're classy. Do I think Montreal is better than Buffalo? City sure is. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think they're right around the same. I think Montreal underperformed last year overall. I don't think they were a last place team, really. So I don't know about better, but they will be at one point. My opinion. No, I didn't hit the button properly, did I? Oh. Treat Doc too nicely, and we have a PLD situation on our hands. That's what the NHL is these days. Can't hand the kids. Yeah, but you don't know that. Why? You know both of those guys, and you can say, well, they have the same personality, so it's going to be the same. No. It's not. No. I don't think Kirby Doc's like that. Nothing I've heard about him would lead me to think that. So again, Renault doesn't make sense. Now you're saying Habs bought Dak at his low point and sold Romy for high. So they sold Romy high to buy Dak at his low. Why do they want to buy Dak at the low end? Because it's going to be a big bargain. They like him. He's talented. He had some injuries early on, wrist as a matter of fact, like Drew has. So, that could be an issue. But I don't agree with you guys. You're getting me to the point where I don't even have words to say. Anyway, we're almost done now because it's 9:30. So I'm gonna get my ass out of here in a few minutes. Actually, I like what Baby says. Dak has been through a lot and has to have his head on right and looking at this as a chance to rebuild himself. I think he is, and I don't think that Montreal has to treat him harshly or that kind of, because I've seen some interviews with him and he knows where it's at and he knows what he knows the situation. So I don't think they have to do that to him and say, here, that's all you're going to get. You better do a good job for us or you won't get more. Like, that's ridiculous. Dak's a leader. He's way different than Dubois. He was captain for the World Juniors, I believe, for Canada before his injury. He's got more character, yeah. Did the Leafs make a mistake paying Marner so much, given it was only his second contract and an offer sheet at max was unreasonable? Of course the Leafs paid Marner too much. If you don't think the Leafs paid Marner too much, I don't care how good he is. He's making too much. I don't know what that has to do with what we're talking about. I'm not saying Dak is going to be a bad player for us. I hope he pans out well, and I'm sure he will earn whatever we do give him. All I'm saying is can't pay too much. Yeah, can't pay too much is different than saying what you're saying. I'm sorry. You don't have to be nasty about, we can't pay a lot. You don't have to be nasty about it. That's the problem today. Everybody wants to be nasty. You don't agree? I'm going to kill you. I'm going to fight, nasty. Why? Why does it have to be like that? Can you tell I'm wound up about something? No pressure for Doc to be the next Jonathan Taves either. That's true. But the Habs are strapped for cash, so maybe they can't pay $3 million right now. That's definitely a possibility. That's why, not a possibility. That's why the bridge deal. You sign them to a bridge deal. it's not what you might think he would make. But I mean, $1 million or $1.5 million is an insult. And why did you trade for the guy, giving up a good player to insult the guy that you brought in? I don't know. Ciao, Renault. Have a good night. But Rory, they traded for him. They'd have had to sign Romy. But they traded for this guy. So yeah, they're gonna sign him, and they're gonna move players, and they'll have the money and they'll sign him, but they're not gonna be cheap on him. Like, I don't think they're gonna be cheap on him. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So I am about to leave as well. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks for making me crazy at the end. I'll be back on Saturday. I have this video that will come out tomorrow. And whatever else. Have a great rest of the night. Thanks for being here, as I said. Give a thumbs up if you had a good time. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I think that's all I'm going to say to you guys. That's it. Ciao. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. If I could find